What's up everyone? So today in this video, I just wanted to do an updated video on breathlessness and overbreathing syndrome. I struggled with this for a long time, and there are sometimes, although on rare occasions, where I still experience short bouts dealing with a slight bit of breathlessness. Now, of course, over the last 2 to 3 years, I've significantly improved that and really eliminated it altogether, especially in the last year or so. So, for me personally, I mean, there were a few things that caused it. One of them was food intolerances. I was consuming a lot of grains and I was trying really hard to eat a lot of complex carbs. And what I didn't realize is that my intestines were not properly breaking these foods down. And so when you have a lot of undigested vegetable matter in your intestines, which by the way, meat does not even really make it to the intestines, not in the way you think it does. Doesn't but vegetable matter is not digested in the stomach. Vegetable matter is broken down and digested in the intestine. Anyway, when your intestine is not breaking down the food properly, your intestine essentially can swell up, which causes the tubes in the intestines to narrow and gives you like pencil looking poop. And it can also, all that undigested food in your colon will expand greatly. And this can cause breathlessness because the intestine is pushing up against the diaphragm. And so, how do you expect to breathe if you've got pressure and like a inflamed intestine that's pushing into your lungs or into your diaphragm? You're not going to be able to breathe properly. I mean, it's obvious, right? Uh, the other thing is vitamin deficiencies. Okay, now this usually comes in the form of a B vitamin deficiency of some kind, vitamin B1, vitamin B12, and it could also be a variety of other parts of the B vitamins, niacin, B6. Really, they're all extremely important, but if you choose to take a B vitamin complex, be sure to find one with a very low amount of vitamin B2 because vitamin B2 turns your pee yellow in excess, and that can dehydrate you, and it makes you feel. It made me feel kind of weird. All right, but be aware of that, especially if you're on a vegan diet or even any kind of diet really, especially if you're restricting calories. This can create nutrient deficiencies. What I'm trying to say is, be aware of this. It's very, very important. And then, of course, food intolerances can also cause allergic type symptoms and cause you to just feel unwell and anxious. The third, and vitamin deficiencies are huge, okay? Very, very huge. Always be aware of that. Magnesium deficiency, vitamin D deficiency, calcium deficiency, all sorts of them. Iron deficiency, anxiety, just feeling overwhelmed, caring too much about what other people think about you. This is a big one, which I discuss in detail elsewhere. Breathing and just improper breathing. You're breathing in too much and not exhaling enough. In that case, it causes a imbalance of carbon dioxide and oxygen. And what happens is you have too much oxygen in your body and not enough carbon dioxide, or vice versa. And this requires balanced breathing exercises, or what you would call breathing in square. Another thing, and this is probably the biggest one here that people aren't aware of, is your posture. Spinal, structural imbalances, okay? When your body, okay, in order to breathe, your body breathes can breathe best when your body is when your spine is fully extended. Okay, so laying over a foam roller. Let's say you put a foam roller underneath your mid back area, like right around here. laying over a foam roller with your body straight and flat. You can pop your back with the foam roller, and you can breathe freer into your diaphragm doing this. Most people will find that if you put a foam roller underneath your mid back or your mid spine, and you find the comfortable spot where it doesn't hurt and it feels great, it allows your diaphragm to expand. Most people cannot breathe because they're hunched over, because their body is like literally crunching over their stomach and over their diaphragm. What would you call it? Like a curved posture, what's known as kyphosis. This definitely can stop your breathing because you're crushing your diaphragm. To me, I mean, at the time I didn't realize this, but now it's like common sense. Interestingly enough, my breathing issues didn't start till I started exercising, doing a lot of deadlifts and whatnot. And this can cause a lot of tension in the lower back. That's the other thing, is muscular tension. You want to foam roll. Even if you don't exercise, look into foam rolling. It'll relax you. Stretching. Stretching, getting a massage, working out the muscular tension in your body. Doing yoga. This is essential. If you are experiencing breathlessness and you're not addressing your diet and you're not practicing yoga, then you're wasting your time. And honestly, it's not a surprise why you're feeling the way you are. Do yoga, okay? Before you try to go and buy a bunch of supplements and, changing your diet and trying to relieve like any extreme thing, like you think you might have like some type of, deep emotional trauma in your body or something, like, listen, do some damn yoga. It's simple, because yoga, number one, it will help to correct any structural imbalances in your body. They'll put your body in postures where it's forced to correct itself. You'll get blood flow moving throughout the body, and you'll be stretching out muscles that you probably need to stretch. And it has a humongous emphasis on breathing, which is your entire problem. Okay, for many people, addressing the diet and the digestion and food intolerances in combination with yoga and breathing, that will solve your problems. For me, this issue drove me to being a hypochondriac, which did eventually lead me to solving my problem about 2 or 3 years into it. But I thought of all these extreme things that might be happening. Like, I thought I was having a heart attack. I thought that my childhood trauma was stuck in my muscles and I had to get it out. I thought that I needed to, express my emotions all the time. If I felt angry, I would just outburst because I felt like it was suppressing my emotions that was causing it. I thought it was a chakra issue and all sorts of things. But I never solved my problem that way. I just kept coming up with all these crazy fantasies in my head, feeding into the hypochondria, and really coming off a little bit more schizophrenic rather than like as an effective human being, never getting anywhere. Until I started to stretch more, I started foam rolling, I started to practice breathing, I started to identify food intolerances, and I started to eat more satiating foods rather than like what I thought should be healthy, which cleared up the food intolerances and what cured my vitamin deficiencies. And then started to work on the mind, and using tonic herbs for your mental health and to ease the stress really helped. And getting sleep helps, but it's hard to get sleep when you can't breathe. So, I mean, those are the fundamentals. So, if you have any questions or comments or want me to go into any more detail, leave them down below. Subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.